What's going on, wrestling fans? Welcome back to the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling. And we are talking today in a very quick news story about some of the big news items going on this week in the world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. Of course, first and foremost, we're going to start off with the finals of the New Japan Cup that happened this week. A big change happening in New Japan. A lot of big changes happening in New Japan Pro Wrestling. To point out on the show, though, if you haven't seen the show, I absolutely would recommend seeing Lio Rush challenge Hiromu Takahashi for the Junior Heavyweight Championship. The match was under 25 minutes, but it felt like it was one of those big epic 40-minute matches by the end of it. These guys really did have an amazing performance. Lio Rush gets a standing ovation from a very, very hot crowd. This is the loudest and hottest crowd I have seen in New Japan for about 3 years. There's about 4,000 or 5,000 people there, but it sounded like 20 at the end of the show because the crowd was so hyped and so into everything that was going on. But Hiromu did manage to retain the championship. He was then challenged by Robbie Eagles, which about a year ago, that would have been okay, whatever. But Robbie Eagles is now a member of TMDK, the Mighty Don't Kneel, led by the frontman Zack Sabre Jr., who came out and introduced the challenge for Hiromu. Hiromu then makes it's over a video package, and Hiromu makes a joke afterwards like, so just anybody who gets a video package and gets it to the editors, they can make challenge for my championship apparently. But regardless of that, never mind that. I will challenge again. I will defend against Robbie Eagles, and I will be coming up at Sakura Genesis in a couple of weeks. Also at Sakura Genesis, Kazuchika Okada, the IWGP World Champion, is set to defend the title against the winner of the New Japan Cup. The finals came down to SANADA, who is now the new leader of just 5 guys making burgers, and the leader of, supposedly the new leader of Bullet Club. I don't know if that's 100% sure yet, as David Finlay has, after ousting Jay White from New Japan Pro Wrestling, also is now trying to lead Bullet Club. Of course, El Phantasmo has other things to say about that, and that's going to be a big mystery going forward. Phantasmo did say, hey, Finlay, if you win the New Japan Cup, I'll do whatever you want, but Finlay didn't win the New Japan Cup. SANADA did get the victory in an okay match for the finals, but that's a story that's going to be going forward. But the bigger story is the fact that SANADA now in charge of just 5 guys who we all kind of laughed at the beginning of the year, like, they're going to make a change. They're going to make big changes. They are making big changes. SANADA is a completely different wrestler, not only in looks, but in his performance. It has been a night and day change with him now than what he was on January the 4th. And this new SANADA, now having won the New Japan Cup, is now challenging Okada. He called Okada out to the ring. Okada gets on the microphone and goes, what, you think just because you changed your hair and you're a leader of a new faction that you can beat me now? I don't think so. Okada's been talking a lot of smack this year. So this is not the same SANADA that we have seen in several years in New Japan, but this is also not the same Okada. Of course, we remember his big run-in with Kiyomiya in Pro Wrestling Noah, and that kick to the face seemed to have light a spark in Okada, and he's carrying that spark and being this kind of crap talking and, hey, look, I already know I'm the best. None of y'all can beat me. What is this nonsense? And he was like, finally, you showed up, SANADA. You were supposed to be my rival like 4 years ago, and now finally you've risen to this level now that maybe you might be a challenge this time, but you're still not going to beat me. So that's what we got going in to Sakura Genesis. Yes, once again, Okada will be taking on SANADA, but again, they are totally different wrestlers than they were the last time these two faced each other for the IWGP Championship. So that'll be coming up in a couple weeks. Of course, we will be covering the road towards Sakura Genesis and the event itself here on the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to check in on that. Other news coming around the wrestling world, Forbidden Door, speaking of New Japan, their joint project with All Elite Wrestling, the Forbidden Door show, pre-sale tickets went on sale and are pretty much almost all gone. So the Forbidden Door show, once again, a hot item ticket in the wrestling world. It has been since they started it last year. It sold pretty early, and this year's looks like it's going to be much of the same thing. How much of that is scalpers? How much of that is real fans? We don't know yet. The official ticket sale starts on Friday, the 24th of March, and we'll see what the maps look like then once the official ticket sales are on. But I don't expect these tickets to last very long. So if you want to go to Forbidden Door, I went last year. It was a great time. I don't think I'll be going this year, but it definitely is a great show. And since I do suspect we're going to get the rematch between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay for the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship, that definitely is a show. If you can go to it live and you want to go to it live, you probably should get tickets pretty soon. And it's happening in Canada, so there's a lot going on there. AEW expanding itself. The match this past weekend's AEW Dynamite was a much better show. The Dynamites have been getting better a little by little, week after week for the past 3 or 4 weeks, I would say, in my opinion. And I don't know if it's going to be reflected in the ratings or not yet, because they're still hovering around that 900,000 range and not at the 1 million viewer range that they were for the last year or two. But I expect that they will be getting back to that soon if they keep putting on shows like the ones we saw last night, which was a damn good show. Other news for AEW, there are rumors going around. Most of this is coming from Meltzer, so take it with a grain of salt. And Dax Harwood, that CM Punk allegedly does want to return to All Elite Wrestling. His injury that he sustained last year seems to be probably is healed up by now. It's been several months since he sustained that injury at All Out. He was reading apparently some old stories about a fight that Coco Beware had back in the day, back in the dressing room, and how Jerry Lawler kind of squashed the thing in one day, something Tony Khan probably should have done, but is not experienced enough yet to do something like that. But the big news is that, or the big rumor, I should say, not news, this is a rumor, is that it is now a lot more likely that we'll see CM Punk return to AEW than not. And it seems to be Tony Khan is the only holdout on this, and whether or not Tony wants to bring Punk back into the locker room. I think some concessions are going to have to be made. The Elite and Punk are going to have to kind of agree to not like each other but work together or something like that. They're going to have to, basically everybody's going to have to grow up and be an adult for that to happen. I think CM Punk returning to AEW would definitely bring a lot of eyeballs, and if Punk is not in it for himself, and if the Elite are not going to be acting like children, as these are rumors, it's not my opinion, I don't know for sure, but the rumors are that the Elite are children and Punk is selfish. So if Punk can get over being selfish and the Elite can get over, quote unquote, leaking things to the press, even though nobody said they did, but that's the rumor, then maybe this can work out. And Tony Khan is going to have to be more of a leader than everybody's buddy. But we've all known this. We've all said this since last summer when the Brawl Out thing happened. Over in WWE, there are reports that Randy Orton may be brought in for WrestleMania. I don't think he's going to be wrestling given the severity of his injuries, and he's been injured a very long time now. But it will be good to see Randy if they're just having him there to do a run-in, or he's just a special guest host, or maybe he's ready to come back and that'll be the introduction of him. We'll wait and see on that. Still no word yet on Switchblade Jay White. The thought was maybe he was going to be Adam Cole's opponent, since he was the one that injured Adam Cole at Forbidden Door last year. But apparently Daniel Garcia is going to be Adam Cole's opponent for his return match. So no Jay White coming to AEW. Eyes will now go to WWE and see whether or not Jay White's going to appear at WrestleMania, or perhaps more likely the Raw after WrestleMania as a new WWE star. We'll have to wait and see on that one. And the final news is that Maria Kanellis, even though a lot of people thought maybe they might bring her back for the Raw after Mania because Triple H is planning all kinds of surprises for that show. That should be a big show. It will be a Raw that I probably will watch live. I don't watch a lot of live Raws because they're too long at 3 hours, but the Raw after Mania is always one of the biggest Manias. It's always one of the ones casual WWE fans like myself do tune into, so I'll be tuning into that. But do not expect to see Maria Kanellis there. She says she's very happy in AEW and Ring of Honor and plans to retire there. So that's the news on that, and that is the news and rumors for today in the world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe button, and the notification bell. Be sure to share this video on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you talk about pro wrestling and sports entertainment. Until next time, I will see you guys here for more news, rumors, and commentary on the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.